was.
Hi.
55 or 6 we moved up here.
Yeah, because I was in jail.
And then we sold the house and moved to Whittier. There ever since. So it's a great life.
Oh, you did some interesting things.
Well, what about Longview? You have to talk about Longview. You worked at Longview from
Yeah, I was a,
until you retired, from 59 till probably, when did she retire?
till I was 65, yeah.
65, so that's 35 years.
So what year?
I mean, 21 years or so I was at Longview.
But what, you were always the private secretary or the
Not a
secretary?
private, I was secretary to the sales manager.
sales
and the
manager.
assistant sales manager.
Yeah.
And I think I did the accounts receivable.
Yeah, I remember seeing her ledger at Longview. You know how beautiful her handwriting is? Absolutely gorgeous. Every entry dated in this beautiful handwriting. Remember you showed me that.
I want to hear the story about me, how you heard I was born.
What'd she say?
She wants to know, Jennifer wants to hear the story about how she was born.
And how you found out.
How did Jennifer enter the world? Or why?
How did you find out? Yeah.
Jennifer,
When my dad called you. Did my dad call you?
weren't you in the car with Ginger a couple days before Jennifer was born?
Oh, we were visiting
Ginger.
Ginger down at Orange County. And we were taking a ride, yeah. And I think we just got the brakes fixed or something.
Yes.
And we came to the end of the road and I put the brake on real hard like that.
No seatbelt.
And that threw her forward. And,
That's right. That was the no seatbelt age, huh? That's why, yeah.
Boy.
And a few hours later, Jennifer appeared.
Was it that night you went into labor?
Yeah.
That night.
Instantly, yeah.
Well, she had born a couple days later then.
No, I went in that night and she was born like the next
really?
morning. One was born at noontime and she was born at early in the morning.
No,
I
was born.
I was born at
Yeah, I was
12:27.
born at 8 something in the morning.
Okay, you're born at 8.
26.
So see, they were there for dinner or something that
Yeah,
night.
we were at your house for the New Year's.
Uh-huh.
Was she born on the 2nd?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second, yeah.
At 8 o'clock the next morning. Yeah, after that ride or that stop, I should say. Huh?
But Claire had just gotten the car fixed or something. And the brakes or something. And I had never driven it. And boy, oh boy, it just went like
You
that.
just touched him and it stopped all right. Yeah.
So, what do you remember when Kelly was born? The first
Oh,
grandchild.
I remember holding her like
First
that.
grandchild, yeah.
I went and stayed there. She was beautiful. She's still beautiful. Yeah, I held her.
You show yourself the
So this is the story about Kelly. When Kelly was born, we all trekked up to Fresno because they were living in Fresno. And every time Mother showed a picture of Kelly, it was with Kelly in the bassinet with her head up. And Mom's comment was always, "Look how strong her neck is." And day one, she was holding her head up.
Who said that about you?
You always said that about Kelly.
Oh, sure.
You'd say, "Look at Kelly, she's only a day old. She's holding her head up."
yeah, she
Well,
was,
it runs in the family. Well, Seth held his head up a minute, not even after he was born,
She
and look at me. And so did Sadie.
looked at us, yeah.
And Sarah J could hold her head up too. They put them on your stomach and they look right
Oh,
up. At
wow.
Yeah.
And one day we were out at Marie's in the car, and these two kids got into the car later, and Ginger had a scissors, and she cut her hair.
Going backwards a little.
Yeah. That's
You
great.
remember doing that?
Absolutely. Yeah, in the back seat, I had the scissors and I cut off all the curls.
Why'd you cut them off, Mom?
I don't know.
Cutting off my hair.
You're envious of those curls.
Have no idea.
She probably saw everybody. Who was the hair cutter in your family? Who used to cut the hair in your family?
My dad cut the man, and my mother, she could cut either one of them. Yeah, my mother would cut ours.
What'd you say your dad used to do? What he used to play the accordion out on the
Down on the line.
yodel? Would he yodel out on the porch?
The harmonica, I thought. Or maybe.
What'd she say?
Your dad. When do you remember him yodeling and playing his
Oh,
harmonica?
yeah. Every time his brother would come up, or the sisters, they would get together in the living room,
Yeah.
play those accordions, my dad and my uncle, and they would sing and they would yodel.
In German.
And
German.
they were good.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. In fact, they wanted him to play on the Atwater Kent radio. They wanted my dad, but he couldn't go because he had cows to milk.
Work to be done, huh?
Yeah.
Actually, your father played at Austin's wedding, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he was the music.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. And what was your mom like? What was your mother like?
What was she like?
What do you remember about your mother?
She was always nice to us. Always, always helping, wanting us to go out and do it. You get active in the church, in the school, any activities. Go, go, go. And she would do the work. But we helped some. Marie always did the sweeping. I guess, I don't know what I did. Oh, she did the baking too.
Who, Marie?
Yeah, Marie.
How'd you
And-
get? Oh, go ahead.
Huh?
No, go ahead.
I didn't hear.
She said,
Just
just said,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. What did Clara
Oh.
do?
What did
Um,
Talia do?
Let's see.
Or Isabel, what would Isabel
Norman?
do?
Norman? Well, he was the guy who played the guitar, the electric. So he had the guitar and he took lessons. And very, very good. Worked at the Salary Swamp. And in the winter, they went. The company moved to Florida, so they went out to Florida and worked there, back and forth.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What about you and Isabel when you would get your formal gowns on and go sing?
Well, I think that was the Grange had a dance, so we each got a formal and had our pictures taken, and it was a great evening.
Well, you
I think we went with Donald and Melvin Snowd. I think we just went with them. I don't think they were dates.
How did you get your nickname Boots?
Somebody used to stay at our place when I was just little, carry us, and he would call me. He called me Boots or Boodles, something like that. And so that's how I got my name. Reader, Gottfried Reader. He was a friend of my parents. He stayed at our house for a while. And he's the guy who did it.
Cute.
Gottfried Reader.
Gottfried.
That's an interesting name.
I know, huh? That's a
So we
drama.
had a lot of nice aunts and
God,
uncles and kids, and we just had a great time.
Tell them about Butchering Day.
Butchering Day,
What you had to do then.
well,
Do you remember
my
that?
mother and dad did all the work and all the neighbors.
And the neighbors.
We didn't do much. And that's where I remember Austin. He came, he would help, it was the Mullins, Philip Mullins, Lois Mullins, and the Carlins, Frank, and Morris Frank. About 4 or 5 families. They always got together every year, went from either house. And that's the way we managed to get along.
So what do you remember about Shelley and Jared when they were born?
When they were born,
When Shelley stayed with you, remember? She was in the back of the car. And you took her down to Knott's Berry Farm or something. Remember that?
Shelley? Oh, yeah. You went somewhere, and we took her with us. We took her down to see the Caskies. The Caskies. She was just a little, she's bigger than that. And coming back, she noticed the trademark on McDonald's. Coming through Buena Park,
McDonald's.
she knew that
like it?
trademark. And she says, I don't know what she
I think
said.
she said Donald's.
Donald's or Donald's. I couldn't understand her. We took her home. We didn't stop. She knew the sign.
And Jared, the bee sting at Laguna?
Oh,
Jared at Laguna?
I think I remember.
With the
I
bee
know.
sting?
Oh, Jared was in Laguna with us. We took both of them.
And Kelly and Jennifer?
No, we took them all. And Jared got, was it a fish?
Bee sting, I think.
It was a big black bee.
Bumblebee.
Bee sting.
Oh, yeah. He had these little tiny hands and a bee stung him. And he cried. And I said, if you will stop crying, we'll go up and have a cookie. I gave him a cookie, he never cried after that.
A deal's a deal.
That's great. Oh, Jared.
Oh, boy.
So when they came back from Laguna, when they had all of you there, Grandpa and Mom and Shelley, Kelly, Jennifer, and Jared was telling us about the trip, and he says, yeah, and they even had an ocean.
Oh, how cute.
So
Had an ocean.
That's so cute.
From your earliest memories, from when you can remember things, when you was a young girl, tell us what it was like in those days.
What was that?
think back as far as you can, like living on the farm.
Oh.
What was it like when it was cold there and you'd wake up in the morning?
Yeah, we slept three in a bed, Clara, Isabel, and I. And we slept on straw ticks.
Yeah,
Because I think we wet the bed. So they change it every now and then. But we three slept together. Marie slept in one room, and Norman. And three of us here, and my mother and dad there.
Do you have an outhouse? Do you have an outhouse?
The bathroom. Where was the bathroom?
Oh, outside. Outside.
How about the shower?
We didn't have a shower.
Or bath?
We took a bath in a galvanized bathtub.
So how often would you get to take one?
How long? Once a week.
Once a week.
Yeah, every Saturday. So
How'd you heat the water up? Would you just
heat it on the stove.
It's like camping.
What kind of
Little holes
stove?
in the
What kind of
plate.
stove did you have?
We had a coal stove. Coal or
Kidding.
wood.
Wow.
So during the winter, when you woke up in the morning,
Well,
how
my
cold
dad
was
would get
it?
up early in the morning and he would start the furnace. So that when we got up, it was pretty nice. And then Mom would start the kitchen stove.
But when you had water next to your bed, what happened to the water during the night?
Oh, it froze.
Oh my God.
We took a bucket of water up and then we had tin cups. But during the night, that water would freeze upstairs. We're sleeping here, there's the water.
What'd you sleep in? What kind of pajamas or how many blankets?
We probably had a nightgown. We didn't have pajamas.
She sleeps with one blanket now.
Yeah.
Wow.
One blanket.
So there's no electricity,
No.
there's no gas.
There's a coal furnace, and so it only goes on a certain one. It by probably midnight, there's no more heat.
Yeah.
So from midnight until they get up in the morning, like it. What time did your
Four.
dad and mom get up in the
Oh,
morning?
they got up early, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, I guess.
They would go down and put coal and wood in the furnace, and that's when it would start getting hot.
The pipes went around.
Well, the furnace was down below. It went up to the first floor where there was a big grate, maybe 4 feet by 4 feet. So you'd sit around the grate and your face would get red hot. And then the further away you moved from it, you got cooler.
Jeez.
So when you got too hot, you'd move away from the grate. And then there was nothing really that went upstairs. There was only the air that flowed upstairs. So that's why their water would be frozen in the morning.
Yeah.
But it was pretty much like that even when we would go down
yeah,
there.
for
We'd all
sure.
sit around the register, we called it. And then when you went to bed, I mean, you were just cold. You were just froze to it. But I don't remember water freezing when we were little, but I don't know if we even had it there. But I mean, we would always wear our socks and woolies to bed because there was no heat upstairs. And the stairway up was probably about half as wide as what this stairway is. And they always kept the door shut there anyways because they wanted to keep the heat downstairs on the main floor. So of the door, you'd go up there and you would just run into the bed and cover yourself up. And when we all stayed down there, Susan and I and Joyce and Francis, we'd all sleep together in one bed. And I think it was always mainly just to keep warm. Yeah.
So when we would go to the farm as children, Ginger and I, Joyce and Francis would sleep in this bed with Kaya, 5 of us.
Yeah, 5
and
of
we'd
us
sleep
in one bed.
across the short way. Kaya, was like 4'11" or something.
Yeah.
5 in one bed.
5 in one
Uh-huh.
If you're warm.
And everyone facing the same way?
bed. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
So instead of sleeping, long
Yeah.
way, we all switched.
Crosswise.
She'd
And
carry
then-
up the kerosene lantern because there was no electricity
There's no
in
electricity
that
up
room.
there.
Kerosene lantern.
And no bathroom, so if you had to go to the bathroom at night, you'd pull the little white pot. There was a white one. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I did.
And you would go to the bathroom in that. And you went as fast as you could because in the winter it was really cold. You didn't even want to go. Put the lid back on, scoot it under the bed, then try to get back in bed and get warm again. I mean, it was too much,
And
wasn't
my dad
it?
would carry it down every night.
Yeah,
out there,
empty it. Yeah.
I wondered who emptied that.
Aren't you glad it wasn't your job?
But the best thing about staying on the farm was always in the morning when they lit the coal stove up and started making pancakes. Remember that? And that pancake smell would just come upstairs. And that was when we would get out of bed. We'd never get out of bed till we could smell the pancakes because we knew it would be cold downstairs. But between the coal stove and the register, by that time it would be kind of warmed up. But we'd all go stand by the coal stove and hold your hands over the stove until the pancakes came on the plate. Then you'd run and sit down real quick. But other than that, it was
So our
very
toys,
primitive living,
our
let
toys
me
when
tell
we
you.
visited the farm were a button box. There was a button box. If you didn't have anything to do, you got the button box out and you strung buttons on a thread,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Yeah, we did
Those were our
that.
toys. Or we played Parcheesi.
Uh-huh.
Those were the inside games.
The cards.
The
yeah.
button box. Did you have a button box when you were growing up as something to play in? All the extra buttons you would string on a string.
Oh,
God, we sound like we're from another.
What did you do for fun on the farm?
Oh, way back. But that's the way it was.
When you
Well,
weren't
corn
hoeing
trees.
corn, what did you do for fun?
well, I'll tell you, we were never bored. We were always,
I think they're always working out in the fields. Weren't you hoeing and watering and stuff like that?
yeah.
Because I remember even as kids when we'd go down there, Grandpa would make us take like an old milk bucket of water out into where the potatoes were there by the kitchen. And you'd have to give each potato 1 scoop of water.
Oh my gosh.
And that's what we would do, go down these long rows of potato plants and take a scoop of water out of the bucket. And usually Russell or Kenneth would carry the bucket if they were
Yeah.
there. And they'd hold it, and then the girls would take a scoop of water, pour it down, you'd go to the next plant, scoop of water down. I mean, we had to do stuff when we were there, and it wasn't just sit around and do anything. You had to really get out and help work. And as kids, we used to clean the gutters. You remember that? We'd take
Yeah,
the
we liked
shovel.
That was fun.
And for some reason, we did like that.
We used to fight over who could scoop the poop out of the
the cow's gutter.
The gutter in the barn.
You know what's funny? I used to like doing that too
Isn't
when I
that
went back
weird?
on the farm.
Yeah.
And I had to help Jay.
The gutter was as wide as the shovel, huh?
Yeah.
So you could just get the
Start at one end.
start at one end, and it was the challenge to get it really clean with just 1 or 2 scoops. And there would be the old wheelbarrow over there, and you'd push down so far, scoop it up, throw it in the wheelbarrow, and whoever, Grandpa or somebody, would scoot the wheelbarrow down, or one of the kids, and you keep scooping it up, throwing it in the wheelbarrow. And we used to do that sometimes in our bare feet. I mean, we walked through the chicken coop, the cow barn, everything in our bare feet.
And we
Through
got
all
Then
that.
not take a bath for a week, probably after that.
we
We
got a
would
bag.
rinse our feet out. They had a creek out there behind the milk house. And we'd rinse our feet in that milk house creek or behind the outhouse on the hill. We'd go back there and we'd walk in the creek just to get our feet kind of cleaned off.
Well, there's a story of Ginger when she was just little. She used to love to sit on the cow cakes. Remember? That's in one of Isabel's diaries.
On the
Really?
cow cakes?
When the cows go, they have these big, huge
Yeah.
cow. We call them cow cakes.
Cow cakes,
And Isabel Miller has in her diary when they took a walk to take the cows out to the
Great,
night
Mom.
pasture. Ginger loved sitting on the cow cakes.
But They were dry.
Yeah, they were dry.
Dry. Yeah, so it's like
It was like a little seat.
Yeah, it was.
How
yeah,
cute.
let's
Thank God for
make
that.
sure we get that in there.
She did what? Isabel said she likes sitting on the cow cakes, the hard cow cakes.
Who was the one that slid in the cow cake at Walter's Ranch?
You
Was it me? Was it me?
or
No, it wasn't
Shelley.
me. Remember?
Maybe it was
Walter's
Sean
Ranch?
Connor.
And one of us
Sean
slid
Connor?
in the cow
Huh?
cake.
Yeah,
When
she
we were
was.
walking to breakfast in the morning. Who was that? It wasn't me.
What was the name of that ranch?
Walter's Ranch.
Yeah,
Sprucedale.
Or
Sprucedale. but
Sprucedale.
Walter.
Sprucedale, yeah.
How did you hear about that place?
I don't remember who that was.
Mother had a friend who went there from work, from Longview. Was
What
it
about the outhouse?
Mr. Foskett knew about the
You
ranch?
didn't. You'd put a
Bud Foskett
Oh, yeah.
told you about the ranch, and he also told you about Laguna, I
outhouse
think.
holes.
That's right. How do you remember that? I forget that.
So just basically.
It was
We went every year for,
Yeah.
I bet 5-6 years or something like
Was
that.
Sprucedale?
And we didn't have toilet paper. We actually
Both.
Yeah, they were
Both.
used. We took them.
or newspaper. And I used to hate it when there was no newspaper because the cow.
That was great. I love the ranch.
I love the ranch too.
Where the newspaper was
Laguna.
much
I
better.
remember so many memories.
now
Laguna
I
and
I wonder if one of the boys is running that yet. Our grandchildren.
Yeah, I bet they
Until they
have to
built
be.
their house, they could be out in a line. It's a brick house and it had one bathroom and it had a
Is she warm
and a
enough?
sink.
Oh yeah, she's warm.
You got a shirt on her?
Oh God, I can't believe we lived
What's
like
that? How
that. I
did
mean,
you live? Well,
Look at those long
we had a
legs.
family and 4 kids.
Oh,
Then we had to wait in
Look
line.
at Colin.
Together or
Colin's
whatever.
totally lost right
well,
now,
I mean,
right?
some kids,
gotta
except for mom and dad, everybody had
There
about
we
7
go.
kids. And they always had one bathroom. And just
She
like
gonna
even
get
now,
cold.
Isabel, up until, I don't know, a few years ago, they didn't
is
have
that?
a bathtub or a shower. All those 7 boys, all their girls. like-
Oh, she's smiling. How cute.
And then finally, I think after
Hey, little Sadie.
then one of the boys that lived there said, you know, we've got to get a bathtub. So upstairs they
So who
could
has the
actually
blue eyes,
have a
Jennifer,
shower,
then?
but otherwise, they would just shower off down at the milk house, because the milk house
Um,
would be real clean.
I don't know.
And so they always had
Grandma's
an outdoor
mom.
shower then.
Grandma, did your mom have blue
This
eyes?
isn't 100 years ago.
Yeah,
This is
Did your mom have
30,
blue
60.
eyes?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I'll tell you. So I'm telling you.
Did she have blue eyes?
Have blue
I
eyes?
say it was cultural. I
Um,
really mean it was cultural.
I think
Well,
so.
I can't, I mean.
I think my dad had
maybe from a
brown.
Semi-rural area. You live
Or was it my mother
to
had
down
brown?
to Watts or someplace, and then it's been really.
I can't remember, just 2 of us I know.
Countryside to like a concrete jungle.
That's exactly.
I think it was my
What was
mother.
Manny's eyes?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shock.
Yeah.
What was Manny's eyes?
Oh, he had like eyes like Kelly,
Dark
Huh?
brown.
dark brown.
Yeah, because usually the male carries through, doesn't
Well, no, it's the gene.
it? I know.
If you have brown hair, as long as you have the recessive gene somewhere down there. That's why Sarah has blue, because she's got the recessive gene, 'cause she is hazel. And so I have it even though my eyes are brown, and George has hazel. So both the recessive got together. That's why Sarah has blue.
What is her
I thought the
bedtime?
male gene, the
No.
male
No.
was always more dominant.
The male gene did, no.
No?
I'm gonna put her down in a
Well,
second.
it was in my case. My dad had blue eyes.
And see,
Yeah.
Oh, there goes the lips.
Colin,
There goes the lips.
Sadie,
Oh, there goes the lip.
that means something.
We're not happy.
Keep it a bread.
Oh,
Well,
it's a
Mother.
beautiful piece of music.
Here, Jen, you want this? Are her legs cold? She seems, let me see. She's pretty. Her legs aren't, but they're just regular.
Oh, I love this.
I do too. I was trying to tell Jennifer this is my favorite.
Like grandma.
Which
What
one?
is that?
This one that's playing right now, it's from some opera and I can't remember the artist.
Is this my champagne, Jen?
Oh, yeah, does anybody else want more champagne? I have a whole bottle
What do we
out
have on there?
Oh,
Stop, 'cause I want to get some of the, when you guys have cake.